Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today I have an interesting product to review. This right here is the First Alert Easy Fire Spray, or Tundra. First Alert Tundra and Easy Fire Spray are the exact same thing, it's just one is newer and the other is an older version. This, however, is a 2021 model. So effectively what these are for is some people allegedly cannot use fire extinguishers, or they're too complicated and intimidating for a regular person. So they invented this easy fire spray thing as a simple fire extinguisher packaged in an aerosol can, and it's supposed to be easier to use. So you can see it's the exact same size as a regular spray can, nothing really special, but it's apparently a fire extinguisher. So one of the most important things to do when you get one of these is remove this plastic seal. So I don't know how many times I've seen it, but people buy these and they just throw it under the kitchen sink and they don't bother removing this thing. This plastic seal right here, or that's covering the cap, you need to remove that, because in a real fire, if you have to use this, you're not getting that cap off when this is on. So it's not that hard. You just have to pull that thing down and then you just remove the plastic. And there you go. So now you have a working fire extinguisher, allegedly. And yeah, that's pretty much that. One of the most important things I cannot stress enough is that this is not intended to replace a regular fire extinguisher. If this little can is the only thing you have in your house, forget about it, because this is not a primary fire extinguisher. This is for supplementary protection only, which means that this should only be used in addition to a real fire extinguisher. The only reason you should have this is if you have no idea how to use any other fire extinguisher. It's better than nothing. I'd rather have this than absolutely nothing at all. However, you really should have a real fire extinguisher, because this tiny little can, it probably isn't going to do a whole lot for a larger fire. This is mostly just good for maybe like a stovetop kitchen fire in your pan. Of course, you can just grab this, spray down your pan, and it doesn't make a huge powdery mess because, of course, it's just a tiny little can. The reason I bought this, of course, it's only $20 for a 2-pack at Lowe's. I bought this for my grandparents because, of course, they're probably not going to be able to handle a huge 10-pound fire extinguisher with a hose and all that stuff. So I bought this just for supplementary protection. However, in the hallway of the apartment building, they do have real fire extinguishers that I would trust more than this. But this is just for supplementary protection, like I've said a lot of times already. Alright, the only thing left to do in this review is actually test this, because there's no such thing as a good fire extinguisher review that doesn't involve actually using the extinguisher on a real fire. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's not going to be a huge fire, obviously, because this is a aerosol can, but we'll just see if it actually discharges and things like that. Alright, so I'm outside right now. You can see I have some paper in a box. It's not that huge of a fire because obviously this isn't a huge fire extinguisher. So I'm just going to light this and test it out real quick. Alright, I think the fire is large enough now, so I'm going to go ahead and test it. Alright, it does seem to do the job, of course. So that's pretty much all I have to say about the First Alert Easy Fire Spray. It does seem reasonably effective for smaller fires. Of course, you should have a real fire extinguisher present. This isn't going to handle anything larger than that. This can barely handle that box fire, so, I mean, of course, for a little grease fire on the stove, this would be decent, but just have a regular fire extinguisher on hand. Another thing I'd recommend is that on the top, where you would spray, you want to put an arrow pointing to where the agent actually comes out, because in an emergency, you might not be able to feel where the agent is going to come out, so it's better to have an arrow so you know exactly where to spray. Alright, that's pretty much that. Thanks for watching.